never, never as in these days, the good old Chinese salute comes handy instead of our Western and hands. Okay, so as said, I want to cover today. I want to cover the bridges. So before cover, I will be brief. I mean, I don't want to waste too much time because it's a subject that is so huge, so important that cannot surely be confined in a few minutes. But just to give you a brief idea of my opinion, as usual, I ask you to remember that when there's something different from what the others do, I seldom say that what they do is wrong. It's just different from what we did. There's some things are wrong, like the open rear foot is wrong. The open waist is wrong in any martial arts. But the ideas, the explanations about the bridges are different. So mine are those that I got back in the days at the Hon Chung tongue, and that I metabolized, I worked on, I thought, I tried to put together in how that the light is some. Let me see if I can get rid of this. Okay, maybe it's a little better. Okay. And so please remember that I'm not saying anything against anybody. I'm just saying that now I need to turn this a little bit. Okay, much better. I'm not saying anything against the others. Just I'm saying my opinions. So before getting into the 12 bridges, I just wrote a brief document so that I can read, and then I will save on my blog so it will be available to everybody about my opinion on what the bridges really are. And to cover this opinion, there's also my opinion about the old vision, the old stereotype vision of internal and external martial arts, a vision that in my opinion is limited, doesn't give justice to what the complexity of the martial arts. So the 12 bridges join these two basic martial arts elements that are always deeply interpenetrated and inseparable. You cannot divide them. These elements are the foundation of every martial arts, and are the internal element that is the emotional attitude, the connection between thought and action, the emotions, the development of emotion, the capacity of adapting the mind to the situation and be resilient. And the second is the external element, so is the action and the connection with the opponent, because we are always talking about martial arts, stuff about fighting. So this interpenetration shows itself with ever greater clarity to the Hung Kuen practitioner that improves his skills with practice and constance over time. And dismantles the simplification between internal and external martial arts that is so widespread in the West. Internal and external. Every martial arts is something that is about using your body and your mind and using it in a fight. So every martial art is at the same time internal and external. It's yin and yang. It's gong and yao. Is Kim and Kwan. So that I think that the practitioner is of every martial arts is an inseparable unity of exterior and interior. This is body, vital functions, but also thought and emotions. So every gesture of his is the result of this uniqueness of the two components, which for no reason can be split. So if you cannot split the thought and the action, how can you split the martial arts and divide internal and external? No, no martial arts, from Tai Chi to MMA, can live without the two components, thought, soul, and body, and in action. So in this vision of unity, the 12 bridges are, what are? The 12 bridges of Hung Kuen are a series of complexes of methods and strategies. So there are sets of methods and strategies, 12 different little units of different strategies that once used to connect with the opponent to his own advantage, to take advantage of the weakness of the opponent, to gain control of the situation, and eventually to defeat the opponent. So the bridges are not specific techniques. So this is Ping bridges. This is not Ping bridges. They can use it to explain what Ping bridges is, but is not this. That Ping bridges is an attitude, is a way of behaving. Okay, so the 12 bridges, for this reason, you cannot train the 12 bridges. From time to time, I see people say, well, let's train the bridge, the Tai. Okay, no, if you do Ta, you're not training the bridge Tai. You are training a technique, something that you use to control the opponent, and it's the Chai has a lot of different meanings that we'll see, but you're training a technique, a strike, a movement, not the bridge. You cannot train the bridges. Okay, so this is something that you understand over years with practice and feeling. So I want to cover the 12 bridges now, one by one. What time is it? Okay, for a few minutes, and we'll do it. And I don't need to take notes. I mean, if you want. The important thing is you just feel the thing, and then I will try to put online an article on the blog with all this things, so for future reference. So let's start. Gong Yao. It's hard and soft, which, as usually, are not separated but compenetrated. So you're soft and you become hard, and then you're soft again. And this is Gong Yao, that are the yin and yang of the every martial arts. So there's no contraposition, is a compenetration. There's no yin without yang, and vice versa. P, we've covered it yesterday, so I don't go back on it. As I said, P is closing, but it's not a matter of idea of closing like this. When you say this, oh well, I block a punch, which is bizarre. But it's just the idea of closing the distance. It's like occupying the opponent's space, so crowding the space, putting yourself in the other on the opponent's space to change his perspective, to change the situation, and to take advantage of this to defeat him. Te is always the bridge. Te is when you use a straight penetrating thrust that can be, like the hands, or also a long punch can be Te, but it's always when you go from the center, you follow the attack line and you go straight to the opponent, and you go through his defenses. Maybe after occupying his space. So Pi and Te are two things that often go together. So you go Pi and Te. Okay. Fun is the same. It's dividing, but it's not when they say fun or fun. Well, those are you can call them fun bridges, but fun is when you open to when you is the opposite of P with the same intent. So occupy the space of the opponent while opening is defensive. Okay, and this is the same. Fine. Ting. Oh, ting is ting is the misunderstood thing ever. So ting has two different meanings. One is the isotonic exercise, like or ting. Okay, and this is very clear. So you train your isotonic power, that's pushing and pulling and pushing and pulling, and you make yourself more steady. But it's not matter of steady like blocked and immobile. It's a steady that is. This is the second meaning of thing. Steady as a loaded spring. So you load the spring and load the spring, and then you load it to let it go back and explode, and let the power explode. So this is thing. Chen is totally different from Che. Chen is a very short thrust that comes from the movement of the waist, and in a very short distance it acquires a very high speed, not thanks to the muscles that you use, but thanks to the use of the whole body to create a momentum of energy and in a short distance. So this is Chun. Tai is when you enter in the garden, in the space of your opponent, lifting something. So it's typical that there's a lot of things. I recently, thanks to my good friend Dorilo Rota, I started practicing the Wing Chun double knives, where there are a couple of wonderful examples of the Thai bridge when you enter lifting. Okay. Lao is we've already talked about Lao. Lao is reserve. When you reserve the energy, is like then you take all your energy, you control it and you keep it, and you put yourself in this attitude of active, relaxed, and ready to react. So this is Lao. At the end, this Lao happens at the end of every time that you finish a technique while doing a form. Every time, and you before starting the next technique, especially if there is a change of direction, so you finish in a way and then you start working in 90 degrees as we are doing in our Tit Sin. That moment before changing, that's when you have the perception, and then you move your intention and you move your eyes. That's Lao. One is, we have it in Tit Sin when we do this. One is when you deflect the power. So your idea of entering the opponent's space while deflecting his power and you occupy your space. That's one. Chai is when you control, but please, Chai is not about strength and power. So you go like Chai because we are making an iron arm of I'm pushing, I'm stronger than him because I played with the kettlebell a lot, I did a lot of exercise and training. No, it's not that. Chai is when you put all the energy of your body into one single little spot, and so there's no possibility for the opponent to overcome your power, but not because you have very strong arms trained in years and years of kettlebell and weightlifting, but because you know how to put all the energy of your body into one single point. And remember, this appears clear when you train those things that you push, when you do those Tai Chi exercise from time to time. I go to train with a friend that practices nice Tai Chi, and we do those things with the hand that you push, and if you use your arms to push and pull the hands, you feel overcome every time. If you understand that you have to use all your body and forget the forearm and use the arm and let the power go through the elbows and the shoulders and the chest, and then you realize that you cannot be defeated. Okay. One chai ting 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 is like when the punch in Muay Fa Kun. So ting is this bridge that has a meaning, is when you bet 100% of your money on a single strike. So ting is when you decide that you launch the thrust, and that thrust will go to your opponent and defeat him totally. So is the mortal, is the ippon of the Japanese, is the final mortal hit, and this is a bet, because if you get him, if you catch him, you win. But if you miss it, or if you block it, or you intercept it, you lose. So Teng is a very difficult and challenging bridge, and it's the same thing is state of mind. So is when you see the possibility to overcome your opponent, definitely, and you go in and you throw in everything you have. That is thing. So we have all the 12 bridges, and we have in our school we have all the night and day, and the yin. So it's Gong Yao Pi Che Fan Ding Chung Tai Lai Wan Chao Ding Kim Kwan. So the day and the night are just there to symbolize that yin and yang. So the Gong and Yao are also the night and the day. So that's it. Let's go back and drink a sip of Polay, thanks to my dear brother Sitowing. And let's go to our kissing. So we go further a little. Mm-hmm. 8. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. Hey. Ah. Oh. Hey. Ta. Hey. Hey. And that's it. So, one thing, let's do it the other side, okay? Hey. 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 Okay, important thing. The breathing, so I would say the movement of the diaphragm and pelvis. I would say we say the breathing for saying for ease of use, but it's not the breathing, it's the movement that pushes and pulls the air, let the air go and come in every time. So the breathing in this part is like this, is always when you do this thing with the Tit Sin, is you finish the technique, when you finish the technique, okay, let's try this. Here, you still have a little bit of air just for the last movement. Remember, every movement in Hung Kuen is done while raising the diaphragm and tilting the waist in a retroversion position, so like this. Okay, so you finish it, but you need a little bit more air to go back there. Then you relax. Okay. While you turn, you let it go. You relax, so the air comes in, and again. When you reach this point, you are empty, totally empty. So you release your waist and your diaphragm. The air comes in, and you have the air for the next. Okay, so Then, here, you relax. The air comes in. This is just, you're not putting any energy in this. You're just lifting the arm, so there's no need to breathe. You lift the arm, and then you go this way. You are totally full, and you relax. Air in again. Relax. 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 Every time you relax, let the air goes in. And whatever thrust you're doing, whatever thing you're doing, you relax. You relax. The next one. Every time. And the more you practice the Tit, the more you can go back to your standard, the other forms you practice, to the mont, to the weapons and everything. And you'll see that the Tit Sin Kuen helps you understand how to work, how to use your body and movement, or your waist, especially your waist part, for in every thrust, because you're relaxed level and then you're empty. Also, even if it's a chin, you're empty at the end. But as soon as the chin reaches the place, reaches his target, and then you relax. And when you relax, the air suddenly comes in, and you're ready for the next shift. Okay. It also in the faster is the sequence of the. Also, if you do your Wing Chun chain bridges, you can do them. You can do this breathing. It's much more internal than external. You don't go like in a porn style. But it's not porn style. But you do it internally. The more it's less evident, just little movement that go and the air goes in and out. And you see that the more you do it, the more you practice, the more it becomes easy, and you'll find it interesting. Try it, you like it. Okay, I think it's 6:30. Yep. Thank you for watching. Edward asked me if I did sparring. Well, in fact, the thing was back in the days. Brother Hawaii was always so kind with me to let me spar with him. I have some nice pictures of ourselves, and it was I think in 78 or 79 he started training with the Thai boxing apparels, with the short Thai boxing shorts, the gloves and stuff. And I remember that I have never been hit so hard and so painfully as I was hit by Brother Y. But I really learned a lot. I remember the first thing that he taught me was the way of how to. It was this. It was how to do things, to movements that react to movements, to do load the spring and let the spring go. And he is really. Kung Fu Y is really one of the best in the world. Is an enormous master. Is a giant. Is really a giant. Kung Fu Y is a giant, and I love him dearly. And I'm so proud of being his friend, as I've been for all these years, as with Cheung Yee Keung, obviously, and the other brothers. So thank you for joining this video, and I'll do my best to see you tomorrow. And in case I'll do the same thing, and I share the YouTube link with the time of the next lesson. Okay, bye-bye to everybody. Stay safe, stay at home. Okay, and wash your hands.